I just want to let it be known that this whole thing started because of a missing kitty cat bracelet that was just ended up being in the basement the entire time. Just want to put that out there. Hello, I'm Scotty, you're not, and we're talking about Nobody, starring Bob Odenkirk. Before I get into the review, I need to talk about a situation. This was originally going to be The Skulls 2. I wanted to designate the Wednesdays for just random reviews, starting with finishing up the Skulls movies and then moving on to actual random reviews. However, I was halfway to 3/4 of the way through the Skulls 2, it froze on me. I took a disc out, there were some scratches, cleaned it off a little bit, put it back in, froze the exact same spot. There was like a little mark thing on it that I couldn't get off, so that has to be what's causing it. A little ding on there, I don't know, a little scratch thing, a little round scratch. So I'm eventually gonna have to order I decided to order them. I put the DVDs on. I'm like, I'm gonna get the first one on Blu-ray, and I'm like, wait a minute, why not just get the entire Blu-ray trilogy? They have one. I know they did because I searched it before. And so I'm gonna be getting the Blu-ray set eventually on the line. So I'm like, okay, I need to review a movie for today, for Wednesday. What'll I do? And I have Pinocchio, a True Story, staring me in the fucking face. And I just said, no, I cannot do this. I actually watched that movie with my son a couple weeks ago, but the problem is I don't remember anything about it because I got drunk after watching it. It wasn't specifically because I watched it, but it helped the pain go away. Eventually, I will watch it again for a review because I bought it to, one, torture my son, and to two, do a review on it because it begs to be reviewed, but not yet. Right, come on. I'm trying to think. Alright. So, now let's get to the review of Nobody. Nobody is a movie that was not on my radar last year. I saw the look of it, I'm like, it's a ripoff of John Wick. And look at that, the writer of John Wick. This is a ripoff of John Wick with an unexpected guy. I have no interest in it. And then I started hearing other movie reviewers putting it like, you need to watch this, you need to see this movie's awesome, you need to watch this, you need to see this. I'm just like, really? This? I mean, I like Breaking Bad, never watched Better Call Saul, but I know Saul Goodman from Breaking Bad. I watched Breaking Bad with my friend Eric Betch. So I know who the actor is. He actually had a role on the sitcom Joey. He was in an episode where Joey's trying to get this role, and then this guy keeps showing up at his auditions and telling him lies to have him screw up the auditions. I'm gonna watch Joey after this actually, but yeah, and he was funny on that, and so I believe that was him, Brian David Smith or whatever his character's name was, Brian David Michael Smith or something like that. But yeah, so I had no interest in this, and then people kept talking about it, and so because I didn't grab it right away when it came out, I did not get the Blu-ray, although I wanted to. I almost ordered the Blu-ray from eBay, and I wish I did, but got the DVD, so got it from Walmart for like $10. So when this movie starts, it starts with the character Hutch. That's the character Odenkirk is playing in this movie. And he's sitting there, and he's handcuffed, and he lights a cigarette, which this is the only time in the movie he smokes, believe it or not, but he lights a cigarette, and then he pulls a kitty cat out of his jacket, and first of all, it's a can of tuna or cat food or something, opens it up. I'm like, is he gonna eat that? And he pulls the kitty cat out of his jacket. I'm like, where the hell did he get this kitty cat? And they're like, then these two cops are like, who the fuck are you? He's like, me? And then the title card pops up, says nobody. And then we flash back to what happened. So the story is that there is a breaking in his house in which he does nothing about it, which causes him to, lose, like people in his life there did, they make from, oh, you could have done something, you didn't do anything, why didn't you do anything, you're such a loser, that sort of thing. But when his daughter's kitty cat bracelet turns up missing, he flips out and goes after the two that robbed him, which leads to an attack on the brother of a Russian mob boss. That sounds familiar. You know what? I'm thinking I'm back. But yeah, a lot of this is very John Wick-ish, only with a family. Like, he's a retired member of some secret agency. He's called an auditor, which is the last person you want to see at your doorstep, basically. And something happens where he ends up going after, I know they're kind of, this isn't a comedy. There's some comedy in it, but it's not legitimately a comedy. But I know they're playing on the thing. John Wick went after this mob boss guy because of his dead dog. He killed my dog, and now I'm gonna kill your son or whatever. And then now they took they took the kitty cat bracelet, but it all, let me get into it. So first of all, his house is robbed by these two people, and he doesn't do anything. Even though his son tackles the guy, he doesn't do anything. It's revealed later the reason he doesn't do anything is because he realized they were scared and desperate, and the gun they had wasn't loaded, so he didn't do anything. Even though he could have, but he didn't. But then when he finds out his daughter's kitty cat bracelet is missing, he goes nuts and eventually finds this couple, finds out they actually were just doing it for financial gain. It was a last-ditch effort thing. They have a baby who has one of those breathing mask things. It's, and they don't have the kitty cat bracelet. I'm like, okay, where's the bracelet? Not that it's a big deal, because it plays a small part, but they do come back to it. There's a couple of things that I think they were going to come back to, and they did. One was his brother-in-law hands him a gun at work, and he puts it in like a Lunchable box and puts it in the refrigerator or freezer, and then the kitty cat bracelet, and later he finds the kitty cat bracelet was underneath the couch in the basement the entire time. And then during the final battle, he actually pulls out the gun from the freezer, which it's been in the freezer, so I don't know if it would work, but he pulls it out and just starts shooting them with it. Like, oh my god, they brought that back. I didn't think they were going to do that. He put it in there, I'm like, are they even going to go back to that? Are they going to come back? They came back to it. It was cool. So yeah. So he doesn't do anything and goes on the bus. These hooligans, led by the brother of the Russian guy, show up and harassing this woman. So he tells, the bus driver, just go. I'll take care of this. And he's like, they're like, what are you going to do? And he's like, I'm going to fuck you up. And I will edit to him. The action scenes in this film, they hit hard. And I will give it to them that it didn't try to go John Wick with the fight scenes, where it's quick, fast-paced. No, these are, you feel the hits. You feel, every time there's a stab, every time there's a gunshot, every time there's a punch, you feel it. And they're playing up that this is just some guy who lives in a suburban neighborhood, even though he used to be, an assassin. He's not John Wick, where he's like taking a hit and just fighting back. No, he gets hit, he falls down. He gets stabbed, he goes, ah! He gets shot, he goes, ooh! He's not invincible like John Wick. He doesn't kill someone with a pencil. But he's, they humanize this character. Unlike John Wick, who's just this badass, I'm going to probably be comparing this to John Wick a lot, who's this badass who just, he's human. And, he beats these guys. He puts the brother in a coma, and I don't think he actually dies. The last they hear of him, he's still alive. He's just in like a coma or something. And the other one guy's missing teeth, and he beats the shit out of these guys. He even gets thrown out of a window, and then goes back in and kick more ass. Then we get our introduction to the main villain, Julian. And I swear this is the greatest introduction to a villain in any action film I've ever seen. He's this Russian guy, and it's back to John Wick again, but he comes in and there's this music playing. And I love this song so much I put it on my Spotify. It's in Russian, but I love it. It's called The Accountant, but it's in like Russian. It's fun. Like he comes in and he's all, there's a line of coke, and he comes up on the stage, and he's dancing, and they know who he is, and he's dancing, and he takes the microphone, and he starts singing, oh, or whatever, and he's singing and dancing, and that's not it, because he goes up, and he's talking about this thing called Abshak, which is this, a lot of money he's investing in, I guess, and or Abstock, or whatever it's called, and Abshak, whatever, and this guy, like, he's like, oh, your brother was, finds out about his brother, and then there's this, he kills this one guy by, I think it's that, does he have a reason other than when he finds out his brother is in a hospital or something, or they say they're gonna cancel Abstock or something, and he breaks this champagne glass, and then just takes it over the side of his face, and then slits the guy's throat. They're like, did you know who that is? Or who that was? He's like, he's an investor in Abstock. And like, oh, well then we all get his shares. He doesn't care, and he finds out his brother's in the hospital, so he's gonna get revenge on this guy. And yeah, it's action scene. He's gotta go defend his, his family, get them out of there. Use these gold bars to buy the place where he works from his father-in-law. And I will say this, if there's any negative I can give, is that you put Michael Ironside in a movie and didn't have him kick ass. Because I was like, is it going to be like a showdown in this place? Because he's saying he's going to buy it. And when he bought it, I'm like, are they all going to like join up and kick ass? Well, he does join up with two others, but it's not those two. Those two disappear after this. He's like, get out. You don't want Michael Ironside kicking ass in your movie. You know who does kick ass in this movie? Besides Bob Odenkirk, he's very good in this movie. Little schlubby Saul Goodman, he kicks ass. Like, I guess he trained for a couple years to try to get this, to get it right. And he's fantastic in this movie. Then you got RZA from the Wu-Tang Clan, and 80-something-year-old Christopher Lloyd. I shit you not. 80-something-year-old Christopher Lloyd is kicking ass in this movie. And there's this one scene, he lives in a retirement home. And these two break in, and gunshots start going off. Shoots one guy, falls down, shoots the other guy, and then he's like, nurse comes in, he's like, damn it, Davey, turn that down, thinking it was the TV. And he's holding the guy like this the entire time so he can't hear him. It's fucking awesome. And then in the climax, this fight that wasn't supposed to happen because like what happens is Hutch burns all the Abshok money, which really pisses him off, and all the Russians chase him back to this warehouse where he was working, or owns now because he paid for the gold bars. And he finds out his brother, played by RZA, who did they ever explain, is he adopted? I'm assuming, because he's black, unless they're half brothers and he knocked up an African American woman. Just saying. But they're both there, and he's like, Pop, Dad? And it's like, they're kicking ass. And the line he says, she's like, I thought it would be good for me to retire, relax, fish, swim. But God damn it, Hutchie, it feels so good, or whatever. Kicks him ass, and he kicks him ass. He's like shotgun, like RZA takes out 3 guys with 1 shot. It's fucking awesome, dude. They do this, like, they're just kicking ass until they're out of ammo. And you see him earlier in the film, before they chased him, before they go back here. He has this claymore mine that he had set up. It reminds me of the scene from Furious 7, where Dom and Mr. Nobody they find where Deckard Shaw is, and he's sitting there eating dinner, and he pulls the thing off, and there's like a grenade underneath. He does the same thing. He's sitting there eating dinner, where the guy's like singing The Impossible Dream, which I'm assuming he wasn't really singing. I don't know. We hear dream, the impossible dream. And that guy doesn't sing like that, but, and then he notices they sitting there and he's like, he's eating, then he pulls the thing off and the claymore is there. He's like, oh, blows all up. And then at the end, he uses it, he duct tapes it to a piece of like glass or whatever that protects him when he pulls it up, pulls the thing, blows the guy's face up, and the glass saves him. And then he tells his brother and his dad, get out of here, I'll deal with it. And then we cut back to the beginning, and I guess the cops, they're gonna go, who the fuck are you? Me? I'm nobody. That's not a good enough answer. And they both get a phone call basically telling them, you gotta leave. Now, the movie ends with him and his wife. Apparently they're reconciled. They're moving into a new house, and they ask if there's going to be a basement after he gets a phone call on the realtor's phone. And do you have a basement? The wife says. So, because that was the thing, is that the basement in their old house was set up with a record player to spark and set the whole thing on fire. It was like a last ditch thing if it was ever found, I guess. Burns everything in the house. An incendiary device, I guess you would call it. It's just kind of cool. And then there's a mid-credit scene that shows, it's not really necessary, but it shows the brother and the dad in an RV with a bunch of guns in it. Not really needed, but it's kind of funny. From beginning to end, this movie was awesome. And, halfway through, I'm like, this movie is like a decent, pretty good, By the end of the movie, this movie was going all the way to the moon, baby. Because this movie was awesome. Fantastic. I love this movie from beginning to end. It was great. It's one of those things where you sleep on it and then you don't realize till later this movie was actually awesome. So, yes. What are your thoughts on Nobody? Leave a comment below. Make sure to like, share, and subscribe. Thanks for watching. I've been Scotty, and I'll see you in the next one.